Greetings and welcome, family. Pardon the slight delay. I was out doing laundry and I had to run home and, rinse off for you, because I can't come in here sweaty. But our co hostess, Miss Bliss, will be here shortly, as well as the featured guest, Acacia. So without further ado, let's get into the opening with our brother Baraka. Straight at him.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember, yes, always who you are. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, yes, yes, I am. Love, yes, yes, I am. My brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Yes, 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 I am my brother's keeper. Is master of the universe. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. Yes, I am is master of the universe. Yes, is master of the universe. Yes, my brother's keeper. Master. Yes, of my brother's keeper. Yes, I am 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 of my brother's keeper. Yes, I am my brother's keeper. Of the yes, I am my brother's keeper. 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 My brother's keeper. Yes, I am 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 my brother's keeper. Yes, I am
Health, love, wealth is your destiny.
That's right. Health, love, wealth, and a good hot shower after dragging the laundry home. So I want to thank y'all family for being patient while I had to rinse and hydrate to acclimate so that I can associate with the show. And thank you, Miss Bliss, for all that you've been doing. I'm sure you was having a good time in the WhatsApp chat today. And
It was a slow day. It was a slow day.
oh, a slow day. It was like fishing, huh? Mm, mm. Okay, so family, we're going to do the invocation. Then we're going to have our beautiful sister, Righteous Ray, give a community announcement. So without further ado, let's see. Just to make you aware, today is Friday. It's a holiday weekend. All who are in the comments, all the audience, if you want to comment, let us know what part of the world you are listening from, because we always appreciate to know where the crystal keeping Jedis of their I am are acoustically holding their divine flame. All right. So Sunday, for those, I see a lot of people. Bliss, you notice a lot of people like to complain in the chat. So what I say is, have you been to the I am chant classes on Sunday or to the Healing Circle Tuesdays? So this is a reminder, family, of what's happening on Sunday. Forgot they gave me a copyright because of that song. So Sundays 10:30 a.m. here at journeytobliss.com. I mean not .com. Journey to Bliss on YouTube and Magnus Crystal's Pyramids. So I've been in lab zone lately, so bear with me. I'm still getting myself adjusted to this crystal innovation because I think I have a new generation of crystal healing weapon grade amulets. So let's move into the invocation. You ready, Bliss?
Yes. Yes.
All right. I am in me. You know what? Let me put some music in the background for this because I feel like having a little bit of music to cool me down. So let's see if this helps. Let me turn it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, family. I suggest you don't have to listen. One accord. We are essential souls that are cultivating a peeling away of amnesia to our circumstance so that we may remember each of us literally hit soul lotto by incarnation, whether you crash landed or got slammed like the first movie Terminator, teleporting down through the stargate of your mom and dad. We say individually and collectively, welcome and congratulations. Any landing, any birth you can walk away from. All my crystal keeping Jedis, whatever tools you may have acquired with this night. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you for landing and walking from the airport of adolescence. May you change the colors of your aura and your spirit bags so that you can wipe clean the windshield and the mirrors of your chakras so you can live your life purpose. And as we look behind us, let us together say, as gods and goddesses, perhaps with some amnesia, because as I always say, Psalms 82:6 says, ye are gods, children of the one most high. That means every facet of God's omnipotent energy, miracles, you have that too. So we are looking at them through the halls of time, all the incarnation, healing. Say yes. All souls. All souls. Turn from sacred center to the present and 360-degree panoramic overview through the eye of imagination. All souls, all souls, regardless of quality, I am Chris, I am patient, I am you. Now, we individually and collectively call upon who you are, who we are in relation to our ascended master ancestors. Call upon Enoch the Ethiopian, who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. We welcome you to be on the platform today. We welcome Sabat Kumara to be with us tonight. Nikolai Tesla, we ask that you be with us tonight. Call on the gatekeeper of Northern California, who Mount Shasta, the hollow access into the Earth's interior, Saint Germain. We thank you. We welcome Jesus Christ, founder. Black Madonna, Mother Mary, be with us tonight. All the goddesses be with us here on the show. And most of all, we ask Archangel Michael to please protect all of our brothers and sisters wherever they be. Children, nieces, and nephews, all our friends, family, brothers, surround, protect, all our nations. We ask in the name of God, angel of healing, Archangel Raphael, to be with us on the platform tonight. Angel of enlightenment, Angel Uriel. Strength, forces of nature that is within our being. Elegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Oya, Olokun, Shango, Ogun, with us. We call upon the Buddhas, the Krishnas, who will be on this planet. Surface Bay, Kabuni, Master Himalaya, Ascended Masters of Atlantis, Ascended Masters of Lemuria, we ask for planetary intervention upon grassroots and leadership, known and unknown throughout the world. We ask for a divine coup to take dominion over this beautiful spaceship planet Earth so that we can have a harmonious, lovely, and fruitful experience. Transmute this prison planet chicken farm into Amen. Where is Acacia? But we don't see her yet. But we're going to have our beautiful sister, Righteous Ray. You got something coming up now. Right out of unmute your mic. Tell us what you got going on, girl. This weekend. When is it? June. Let me get that flyer up. Welcome to Magnus Crystal's Pyramid.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. How you doing? How you doing? Greetings, family.
Greetings.
We're having a Juneteenth event on Monday, June 19th. So with the intention of uplifting our community and the consciousness and the spirit, we at the Coney Island Ambassadors for Change will be celebrating Juneteenth again Monday, June 19th from 11 to 2 in Kaiser Park. The entrance is on West 31st Street and Neptune Avenue. Any vendors who would like to participate, you can email us at ci.ambassadorsforchange, that's the number 4, at gmail.com. So come out and tap in to help us in anchoring in some good vibes. Again, this is our second one too. This is our second one in Coney Island. So we're hoping for this one to be a really special event this time. Yeah.
So what's your motivation, sister? Why did you? What inspired you to step up and create such a potentially magnificent program? You know, who are you? Tell us who you are a little bit. We got some time. You know, where you come from? You know, like you just incarnated down and said, "Look here, we got to get busy." What's going on? Tell us.
Well, I believe the reason I was incarnated in this community that I'm in right now, in Coney Island, where I was born and raised, is to anchor in some righteousness, but also to provide some healing for my community. Y'all already know the shenanigans we've been through as a people, so it's important for me to make sure there are avenues of healing in my community, but also events and resources that can empower us, you know, give us knowledge and break us out of that mental matrix, that illusion that a lot of us are trapped in.
Yes, makes sense. All right, well, this is the flyer, y'all. So
wow, look at all the wonderful things that they have. Food, that's my favorite right there.
Can't go wrong with food, right? You gotta have food.
Dancing, music, music and dancing is another one of my favorite. Libations, food distribution, activities, culture, education, and workshops, guys. Make sure you get down to Coney Island on June 19th. It sounds empowering.
Yes, and that's what we're hoping. That's what we're looking for. You got to make sure Juneteenth is not about just a party. You got to make sure you're dropping some gems into the people. You know.
that makes
now,
sense.
is there any age limit? Can they bring children? Is it going to be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. We bring all ranges. I want the whole family to come out. Just kind of like a bring your own blanket type of environment. Wow. So come out and have a good time. We're gonna have vendors there. We're gonna have people from the community. We're gonna have barbecuing and things like that. So we're gonna have some good food. You know, there's always good food in the area. So we're gonna have people from the community that people already know cook good. We're gonna have them out there too as well. So it's gonna be really nice. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this space right now, and Brother Hank and Human's Bliss as well for allowing me to present this to the people as well.
Nice.
Reminds me of that song. Got to give the people. Remember
you
that?
know what?
That's right.
I think you said this is the second time you guys have done it?
Yes.
Wow. So this is really, really good. This is really good. And I'm glad to hear that you guys are being consistent with it. You know, as you're consistent, then it would grow. The community will grow. You get more people coming out and more support. So I think that's
Yes.
really, really good.
Yes, and it
Yeah.
only can get better. It can only get better.
Okay, let me
Exactly.
see now. For people who are
you.
interested, what's your contact information? Let me put up a banner for you real
Oh,
quick.
also, yes, great job. I forgot to give the email for any
Yeah,
vendors
what's
who
the
wants
email?
to participate.
Yeah, what's the email?
The email is
CI,
ci.ambassadors
CI what?
dot
Dot.
ambassadors
Ambass. How you spell ambassador?
AMBASSA
Ambassador or ambassador?
am like am
N B A. Keep going.
SS
SS.
ADORS
Uh-huh.
the number 4
Number 4. Hold on.
and
Number
the
4.
word change.
Huh?
The word change at
Ambassador
gmail dot yes.
at gmail.com.
Yes, you got it. That's it.
Okay, what else what's your social media contact?
My social media on Instagram is Elevate to Levitate.
Okay, Instagram contact is elevate
The number 2
to
Levitate.
levitate. And any other social media contact?
I have my YouTube channel where I do my comedic
YouTube
yoga.
channel. Typing this in. Go ahead. What is it?
Cosmic Ray.
Cosmic Ray.
Yes, Cosmic Ray Unity Consciousness.
Oh, that's in one. That's one sentence. I mean, one word.
Yes.
Cosmic Ray Unity.
Consciousness.
All right. Scroll that on.
You got it?
That's a lot, girl. That's a lot. What's your birthday? What month is your birthday?
July.
July what?
I'm 14. I'm a Cancer.
She's a Cancer, y'all. Look at it. And I see why you talk about levitating anti-gravity. Your hairstyle don't want to stay earthbound. She do not want to stay earthbound. I hear you.
I'm trying close to the cosmos.
Combination, I'd be flipping like your little follicles.
Great. Could you tell us a little bit about the services that you offer? Because you did say that you do. Did you say Reiki or yoga?
I do comedic yoga. I teach comedic yoga. Yes, comedic yoga. And I teach out of a gym right now in 9064 Hamilton Parkway on Sundays from 10 to 11. And then now the weather's getting nice, I'm also going to be doing some classes on the beach as well.
Wow, yoga. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's great, Rising Sun. Comedic yoga. Really, really good.
Tell us who your teacher was. Who's your teacher from comedic yoga?
Yasir Rahotep. Yeah.
Yes. And his teacher's out of Chicago. What's his name? I forgot his name. Just want to give him acknowledgement. Yasir's teacher. He's an elder. I forgot his name. I guess you forgot his name.
My mind is blinking. Yeah, my mind is blinking right now.
Yeah, special shout out to him.
Don't be mad at me. You said don't be mad at me. But yes, I took his class in Jamaica. He also does classes in Jamaica and Egypt as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
You took the Wachuma medicine with us, not to get off the topic, but do you want to give a quick little
that's right on time.
testimony?
Right on time, Bliss. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Wachuma.
You were up in the mountains with us with that Wachuma, and she's a Cancer. So when that water portal opens, sis.
Oh man, I
I
wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared, but brother, I seen it from Brother Hank had mentioned it on one of his videos, and he was going to be going to watch you. And I was like, let me see what this is about. And I was like, oh. And then Spirit was like, yep, you need to be going up there. So I mentioned to one of my friends, Kali, and she came up there with me, and it was an experience that I can't forget. I can't forget. The way the fire be talking to you is unbelievable.
Yes. I remember when you were there up in the mountains. Yeah, that was a beautiful night. It's always, a different experience with the medicine, because the group is always different. The energy is always different. Everything is different all the time. So but I remember it being a good ceremony that night. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
was. It for me to be my first time, and you know what I mean. Sometimes people panic. It was a good supportive space too. You know, other people who already done it before and was able to, you know what I mean, keep the vibe grounded. So it was a good first time to be in a space like that with people who, you know, support the experience and not, you know, so it was
Yes.
nice.
So
You
how
guys,
has
I know you guys done
Wachuma?
it more than that too.
How
What'd
has
you say?
Wachuma? What was your experience as far as after the ceremony, doing the Wachuma?
Well, I needed to tap in more to my ancestors, and one in particularly was my grandfather from my mother's side. And out of all my ancestors that I didn't have that I had on my altar, I didn't have him. So it was like, you better you better
Mm-hmm.
recognize, you better not forget about me, and to also they like, I gotta feed you, gotta feed me, keep feeding me, keep feeding me. So it was like a whole like, I would say like paternal thing that happened, and a lot of releasing of things that you just think you dealt with, and then it's like, oh
Right.
no, you got a little bit of residue. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
get this
Mm-hmm.
residue out.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's always like that. You know, we do the work and we're working on ourselves and we think, oh, I'm ready for the next step or the next level. And then something triggers and then we have to revert back, clean that up, brush it up, and then move forward. And
Mhm.
Wachuma is a great medicine for families and generations back and forth.
Mhm.
So if you're calling on your ancestors or if you want to connect with the future children, it's a great medicine. Or just connecting with yourself, you know, because your ancestors are within you anyway. So
Mhm.
it opens you up, activates you, and it's not just that night, it's a couple of weeks after that that you're still activated. So it's an
Definitely.
absolutely wonderful medicine. Yeah.
Definitely. I had some moments. It was like, oh,
Yes.
when I and my friend Kylie that came with me, so I was calling her like, girl, did you see this?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
but it was
Hmm.
like all it was more synchronistic between the both of us, and but like stuff that we both really needed to pay attention to. So yeah.
Right. 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 Exactly.
And it's important to know that these herbs are like they hit for a reason. You know what I mean? A lot of us, well,
Mhm.
even with me, before I even know about it, it was like, what you doing? What? I don't know about that. But when you actually tap in, you realize like, oh, I should have
Yeah.
been doing this, but better late than never.
Yes. 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 It assists with healing on so many different levels, you know. And people, like you said, are always frightened because they're not sure what kind of experience they're going to have or what it's going to be like.
Mm,
But no one's afraid of the current life that they're living, you know, how the horrible dreams and nightmares that they have day and night, just walking on the street, just fear of, you know, relationships and friendships, fear of losing the job, fear of not having enough money, just fear not be little things like not losing weight, like all of these things could be addressed, you know, if
mm,
you work with yourself, you take the medicine and you do the work. But a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do it. So you want to continue to live this type
yeah.
of life that you're living with no guidance, no assistance, you know, and you're not even receiving any messages from your ancestors, guides, spirit guides. Like the entheogens open you up so that you can get messages like saying, you know, you're supposed to be there on June 19th. You know what I'm saying? Or you know you're supposed to promote yourself so you can grow your business so that you can go here and do that. And if you're blocking, you got all these
Mm,
blockages, you're not receiving the downloads. So we got to figure
mhm.
out a way to open up. We have
Yep, you're
to.
absolutely right. And it's like blocking the way to receive too. Blocking the way you
Exactly.
receive. Yeah.
Exactly. Are you muted? I think you're muted, Rising Sun.
Oops. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Uh, and family, let us know if our sound is good. Can you hear me good, Bliss?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We just want to
I
make
can hear
sure.
you.
Okay, cool. I want to thank you, sister, for sharing your program, your energy, for coming forth into this incarnation because you look like you only got here a few years ago. but
I'll
after
be
the
40 this
conversation,
year.
you heard that, family? Look at this. Say it again, because you ain't gonna call me no liar.
I'll be 40 this year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Pre-happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Must
thank
be living
you.
a good life, Cancerian.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, I am. Only
Yes.
about to get
I
better.
said, yes, I am.
Someone wanted to know, are you talking about which retreat? The one with Juan Pablo? Because we have a retreat coming up in June with Juan Pablo, where he'll be serving a number of medicines. And also I think that's promoted by Steve. So if you're in the chat, we will be dropping that information. We'll also be promoting online for anybody who wants the information, who wants to attend. What other, there's a Tantra retreat, but I'm not sure if we could have outsiders come. I'm waiting for the confirmation from Adara. Tantra is very yeah,
It's very
sometimes we
sacred.
cannot have all types of people around when we're doing that type of work. So I'd have to get authorization from her. But I do know in June we have the retreat coming up with Steve. And I believe also Juan Pablo comes in September. So it should be June and also September. So if you're looking to take the medicine Yopo, which is a beautiful medicine, he also does a shroom ceremony. He does bufo. We did the mambe and the copy. Woo! Beautiful love medicine that activate that heart and that throat chakra. Even if you're having an argument with somebody, you be like, you know what? I can't stand you today. And they be like, oh, that's okay. We can talk about it. You be like, all the love is just gushing out of you. Oh, he cleans you out with Campbell. All of those spirits, all of those negative energies. So the Campbell is the first thing we do. He cleans us out, and then we get all of those medicines while we're there for the weekend. So it's usually a 3-day weekend, but I don't know if Steve has a 3-day weekend. Radinson, do you know?
Yeah, I think it's going to be um, from Friday to Sunday.
Okay, Friday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely beautiful, beautiful weekend.
And let me
We
tell
have
you,
the
family, that Campbell.
sauna. Woo!
Tell them about that
Again,
Campbell, Bliss.
Huh?
Tell them about Campbell.
So the Campbell, oh my goodness. I have never taken Campbell with that many people at one time. And when I say Juan Pablo is, let me tell you, his shaman experience with me is at such a high level that I cannot sit with any shaman who cannot produce the way that Juan Pablo produced. That's how impressed I was. We all said what we wanted to manifest in a circle. I think it was about 20 people, 15, 20 people. And he said to each of us, what are your goals? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? What are you trying to work with? How do you feel? Whatever it is. And each one of us explained to him what we wanted out of that whole weekend. And then he went and served us according to what we were requesting. He didn't just serve us Campbell.
Yeah, he's a truth.
He served us according to what each one of us was looking to accomplish in our lives. I was absolutely amazed because I'd never seen that before. And with that said, I don't know if anybody knows exactly what Campbell is, but we have to purge. He then educated us as to what's coming out of our bodies. Depending on the way the purge comes out of our body, it would tell us a lot about the person and what they're going through. So you would be able to recognize anxiety, fear, anger, like all of these things he educated us on. So we would look at and we would know, okay, well, you would have to admit it at that point and acknowledge that, look, you have anger within you. Like a lot of us are walking around here angry, hostile, and oh no, I'm not angry. Oh no, I'm not hostile. And it may not even be you. It could be something from when you were a child, an experience that you had, a trauma that you never dealt with, you didn't do shadow work, or something that passed on from your ancestors. And so you would have to address that while you're there. It's beautiful, beautiful weekend. Campbell is a beautiful medicine. Gets rid of all the negative spirits too. I'm talking too much. Go ahead.
You're not. You're talking fine.
Yeah. I've done Campbell before, so it is an experience. It is an experience, definitely.
So you can take like 15 to 20 minutes of the Campbell, clean yourself out, educate yourself about it. And yeah, it's well worth the trip with the Cambo. Well worth it. It's well worth the cleaning out of your system. So yeah.
I want to talk about. Okay, family. I just got a phone call and a text from Acacia. She's having a little bit of a challenge technically, but she'll be with us shortly. So while we're waiting for her to come on, I want to tell you, family, Cambo is the frog venom. This is known as the Amazon vaccination. The history is the indigenous people of South America, the norm is being able to talk to plants the same way we communicate with the internet. The people, other people, indigenous people throughout the world communicate with the plant kingdom the way we connect with the internet. So one particular person was asking, how can I heal, asking the ayahuasca medicine, how can I heal the diseases in my village? And the ayahuasca gave him the recipe to use a particular frog, get the venom off of the frog's skin, burn the top layer of skin off, and apply it lightly in order to clean the blood from all viruses, all bacteria, all diseases, break spells, and things of sort. And at the retreat, it's highly recommended that you do Cambo before you embrace the other entheogens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like it's a natural way of doing an exorcism of any bad frequency or illnesses or diseases. I just saw Acacia come on and she just dropped out again. She'll be back. She's breaking through the matrix. There she is. Yay, you made it.
Hey, sorry about that.
Okay. Ray, you can hang out with us if you have time.
I got a few minutes. I'm about to the space I'm in is about to close. It sounds like they want me out of here, but I'll hang in for a little bit. How you doing, sister?
Awesome. Peace, Acacia. Peace.
Well, Acacia, the table, the platform is yours because I want to go hook up the rotating crystals. So I got to step off, and you got the platform.
All right, cool. Well, I wanted to do this lecture because most of the time in the conscious community, we don't have very many integration tools that are limitless in the terms of our access to spiritual planes of knowledge and recognition. I mean by limitless, I mean by tools that don't require us to be in ceremony with ayahuasca or mushrooms or in tobacco or cannabis ceremony. Things that help us to tap into our natural body's ability to generate vibrational energy. Hi. Peace. For me, I've been in a space where integrating on a daily basis has been a necessity because a lot of conscious people go ceremony to ceremony, month after month, looking for something that's right there. They know it's right there. It's just a matter of connecting with source inside of these moments that are so very precious to us that we get every single day, and learning what to do with that. Authentically, so I wanted to do this lecture about tea because of the fact that for me, it's one of the most underrated psychedelics I've ever met. And, we love to talk about how ancient ayahuasca is, how ancient the mushroom is. But the truth is, we've been sleeping on a lot of these plants that are 2,000 and 3,000 years old, that they're still producing buds that are being picked and preserved in a sacred way. And we have lost respect for traditions that don't come out of Africa. And so for me, I don't think that there's anything that doesn't come out of Africa, first of all. It's just a time period. And if we look at things as a family, if we look at ourselves as children of this planet, rather than as individuals who are locked into these coded racial and cultural wounds, You know, we got to birth ourselves into the higher dimensional collective of beings who are here on this planet for a higher purpose than just to talk about sacred stuff. And for me personally, that stepping into presence is that. Because when you are present, you are in full connection and communion with source, and you are not limited by the constructs of time. I just had a conversation with one of my friends, lasted over an hour. It felt like 5 minutes, you know, and that's how you know you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun because you're present when you're having fun. And when fully present, time doesn't exist. Time is simply an illusion. And so bringing ourselves into a state of presence inside of the moment, and to be able to stretch time and travel in real time is a gift that a lot of times we chase using entheogens. We think we can be more present and be more conscious and aware because we saw, you know, the entrance to some temple of Aset or something. We think we can become more present and aware by seeing that we're divine, but that's really there are levels of peace which come beneath those dimensions that are so colorful and filled with vibrance and healing energy that don't take shape or appearance. They're unformed, uncreated. It was out of that uncreated space that those divine forms sprung forth. So being present in that bardo, in that womb space, is something that a lot of people are afraid of or don't really know how to access. And I was just telling one of my friends, a sister, you know, that the object of working in a traditional sweat lodge is to create a womb on top of the planet, basically to create a dark space where we can go and commune with the earth and the beating heart of the earth, and say our prayers and be healed by the earth in that dark and healing space. And sometimes we've got to create that in our waking reality. We can't always go and step in the sweat lodge. We can't always go into ceremony every day inside the medicine because we form a tolerance. But what we can do is go inside of ourselves, go inside of our own womb space, and tap deeper into the heart and the root of healing that exists in every single one of us. And it's slowing down that does that. It's not speeding up. It's not going and taking a bunch of ethnobotanicals and getting high on Blue Lotus paste and chocolate. You know, that's fun. I like that. But the truth is, it distracts you. It's just the tarot cards are a distraction. The Blue Lotus is a distraction. The cannabis is a distraction. You get further and further and further and further away from presence, the more stuff you add to the equation. You're already perfect. You don't need anything outside of yourself to connect deeper within. And this is something that triggered me when I was young in the community, when elders would say, oh, I'm already there. I don't need 20 grams of mushrooms to get there. It took me until now to understand what there is. I thought there was seeing myself as a god. I thought there was being able to do high magic. That's not there. There is before all of that. There is the primordial, super conscious, infinite space that is within all of us, and connecting to the harmonics of the supreme source code within ourselves and creating real time. You might even be in that space where you think that your ISIS are all set and not able to do anything because you're still dealing with hurt feelings from your last relationship. So you're in a Kali, angry, divine, dark goddess mode and unable to break out of that anger and that primordial rage inside of yourself, thinking that you're at the top. And honestly, I'm sorry to break it to you, that you're still growing. You're still at a place where you need to go in within and heal and release that divine rage in such a way so that you can fill it with divine compassion. The beauty of the primordial empty space is that you can create anything from it. You don't have to create fantasies of divinity. You don't have to go into other alternate lifetimes. You can simply just be and have an audience with divine spirit that is you and create whatever you want from that space, or have the choice not to create at all, just to be at peace. And I think that peace of mind and joy have been limited by so many different corporations and chemicals in our food and stuff. We got a whole community of Black folks who are dedicated to unplugging from processed foods and still don't understand that we can unplug from unprocessed from processed thoughts. Processed thoughts are just as bad for you at times as processed foods, because those processed thoughts are carrying information to other places that are not in your highest favor. So those processed thoughts are thoughts that say, okay, I can't heal unless I got this. I can't continue forward unless I go through this rite of passage. You've got to access the master source code within inside yourself, outside of using psychedelics as a pathway forward. The psychedelics can be the temple on the side of the mountain for you, instead of just the pretty colors on the side of the mountain. It's the reverence that you have for the temple that makes it a temple. But you be walking past it not even knowing a temple is there, because you see it so much. You have lost the appreciation for it on the level of profundity that creates the vision of it being clear. So if you really want to get the most out of your psychedelic experience, you should do it less often. You should do it like maybe 4 times a year or 3 times a year and have a really deep experience, so that you can get the full picture of the places that you're going, instead of a halfway picture, wondering why everybody else is going to a different place than you. It's not about them. It's about you and your connection with the divine within. So for me, when I set up my tea table, when I sit in front of it, the first things I'm creating are the elements of life itself. Everything needs water and everything needs heat. Without heat and without water, none of us would exist. So for me, I'm doing an ancient ritual. I'm honoring the fundamental of life that exists within me. Guess what my body produces? Heat. Guess what is inside of my body? Water. And that's also helping my body to function on a daily basis. So rather than reverencing the medicine as being the tool to connect with my higher self, I'm connecting with the elements of life itself and giving reverence to the creator through those 2 elements of heat and water. Simple. And a lot of us lose ourselves in the elaborations of what herbal tea is and what the utilization is for the tea and what the herb does. And we don't know the herb. We know the little paragraph that they put on the outside of the package, And so I really want us to go deeper into learning what is the spirit and the intelligence that the plant is carrying, and how do we unlock that utilizing water to access the source spirit inside the plant.
You know what, Acacia, I want you to spend a little bit of time talking about the lack of integration on the people taking various types of psychedelics or entheogens, because I've seen that is almost like an epidemic.
Yes.
The lack of integration. I mean,
Yes.
Are they not hearing the message of the plant kingdom? Because when I come out, I even had like Brother Rich was like, I don't see the change in people after they do.
And
I'm telling you, family is an epidemic of people not integrating. I don't care what it is. I've seen the lack of integration in multiple platforms. Please, Acacia, tell us, why is that?
Because people want something for nothing. They want to be able to receive the accolades from the community for doing something, but they don't understand that you get out what you put in. They don't understand the work starts after the journey and before the journey. If you're not integrating beforehand and you got your why tapped in, and your why doesn't include anybody else but you and your higher self, then you don't even have a reason, in my opinion, to be looking at the psychedelic if you're doing it for self-development, because self-development gets organized. And when you're unorganized and you don't have a relationship with yourself without psychedelics, when you go into the psychedelic, you're still experimenting with who you are. You're still trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. And that's not, no work has been done there. You're still laying the framework. So a lot of people spend years laying the framework for their self-development and think they're working. They might be working on one level, but they haven't even really entered the quality arena of finished exemplifying the qualities that they should be trying to cultivate in themselves. Pre-integration is just important as post-integration. The pre-integration is understanding what it is that you're doing in your daily life for yourself, taking care of yourself and taking care of those around you in your community. A lot of people say, well, I'm trying to heal, so I need to do the mushrooms first. I said, no. The mushrooms are not going to heal you. The mushrooms are just a tool to heal you. They are not what is healing you. You're the one who's healing you. And they're like, well, I don't believe that. I'm like, well, you need to sit with that and process those emotions before you get to the trip. Because if you're sitting there with all these unprocessed emotions of doubt, you're still going to be sitting there doubting what you really did see. And that's going to hold you back every time and keep you going back for more. And every time you go in, you're going to be like, well, I don't really think that was it. And I don't really know that my connection's that strong. And it's because on the outside, before you got to the trip, you were not integrating those unprocessed emotions about your self-image. That needs to be dealt with. You need to go to therapy. You need to talk to somebody. Sit down for some tea before you go in.
Yeah,
So
this, I would say, I would go so far from my experience. It is an epidemic of lack of integration because I don't see people making the change. People still act. I still see, egotistic. I see unaddressed shadow work that needs to be accessed. And I'm talking about in all ethnic groups that I've gone across Acacia. Ethnic groups is not just, people of color all over them. In America, you got racism that reeks in the psychedelic community. You have egotism. You have like cult personalities. You have the same ugliness you find in anybody's cornerstone, front storefront, Jesus store. You see it in the psychedelic community. So what's the remedy? I mean, like, are you going to give them a Bible, the liquor store, or a mushroom? Because they don't change. I'm saying major lack of change.
Not only that, talk about the people in the community who are serving the medicine, both taking the medicine, and you still see all of these things that's activating within them that you would not expect to see in a person who's not taking the medicine.
Well, part of it is lack of initiation, lack of ritual and traditional use, lack of traditional values, lack of obedience to traditional values, i.e. the laws of Ma'at or the Omoluwabe characteristics, the son and daughter of a chief. We need ethics. We need morality. We need equality. We need compassion. We need forgiveness. We need kindness. We need gentleness. We need divine qualities. I'm actually giving a lecture right now on a live platform.
You're doing two lectures at the same time, Acacia?
Sorry, I'm in a
psychedelic.
So honestly, when it comes down to it, if these qualities don't exist inside of our community, then we just have a stagnant chamber of nonsense that's taking place. And so in order to remedy that stagnation, we need people who are all fighting for a mutual cause, and that cause needs to be centered around embodiment. And embodiment requires integration. It requires the hard work, and that's something that people, they think they're being brave when they are going into the really, really high doses, but the truth is that's still cowardly behavior, because you're looking for it to take you to the next level, but you're not willing to take the right steps to get there.
Listen, this is a subject that's way overdue. And let's just talk about like other social media platforms. I mean, the amount of self-hate that's perpetuated. And when I took my ayahuasca years ago, it told me get off Facebook. I obeyed. I got off Facebook. The next thing it told me a couple of years later, get off Instagram. I did. But I'm hearing echoes of people telling me the black on black violence and degradation across the social platforms, instead of practicing business and having ethics It's like horrendous what I'm hearing. And I'm not on these platforms, but I'm hearing like, oh, they're supposed to be into entheogens, but look how they're acting. It's like they might as well go out here. I find more authenticity with the winos at the liquor store on the corner than I do in some of the ethnic entheogenic circles. The alcoholics, the winos at the corner got a brotherhood.
You know, as a community that doesn't hold itself accountable, that's a problem, because there are a lot of people who are afraid to burn bridges with their friends, and they're afraid to hold people accountable to a higher standard. If there's no accountability, and the eldership is afraid to step up and say, okay, this person is a charlatan, this person is an abuser. When there's no accountability coming from people who people look to and they say that they trust, then that's a problem, you know? And so either we're going to have this be traditional or we're not. Either there's going to be some eldership and some guidance from older women and older men who are honorable and the community sees them as honorable, or there isn't. And if there isn't, then we have to find a way to get the message out to folks that you've got to change your actions before we take you seriously. We don't take people seriously if they don't exemplify some basic ethical and basic moral understanding. We got people here starting schools who ain't never studied nowhere. We got people here teaching herbalism who got sick babies at home. We got a lot of recklessness, and it's the recklessness is partially because of capitalism. People have to survive, and so in order to create a living for themselves, sometimes they use other people, and that's not okay. That's never been okay. But unless we start tapping into our creative passions and supporting each other as a community, then people are always going to be in this struggle suffer paradigm. That's going to create a systemic lack of undervalued people who are authentically doing the work, and people who are valued who aren't doing the work, but they're charging more, and so they're able to present themselves in a way that is acceptable to the mainstream world and the mainstream society, while you got a bunch of folks who are really doing the work behind the scenes suffering because they're willing to give of themselves and give of the medicine in ways that are unprecedented in comparison to what other folks are doing. Those are the folks with a nice website. Those are the folks with a fancy car. And those are the folks with the nice retreat centers. But they're not doing it for the reason of helping the people. They're doing it because they are capitalizing on people's ignorance. And that's why I really think it's important for you to learn how to serve yourself and learn how to sit with yourself. Because a lot of us in the Black community don't know how to sit, you know, and sitting is the oldest known ritual in the world. You know, we talk about meditation, but the truth is learning to sit and observe is going to serve you better than any meditation school you can go to. Learning how to watch and listen and tap into divine spirit inside of yourself, that is something that is the most useful thing that I've learned working with entheogens, and I didn't even value it on the level that I do today when I first started, first 4 or 5 years that I was in it. And so for me personally, I feel like as a teacher, as someone who appreciates the medicine, this mainstream shamanism and neo-shamanic model doesn't serve me. My teachers didn't talk about, you know, me doing anything like that. You know, I support people who do shamanism in an honorable way. I'm not saying that shamanism itself is bad, but you know that we got a bunch of McDojos and a bunch of McShamans and a bunch of folks who really don't have the experience to be out here presenting themselves to the people and asking for money in a certain kind of way. It's become a circus, you know, and a lot of us warned about, you know, folks in the community, but because of some of the people's behaviors and negative actions, we didn't want to be attacked. So we just stepped back. You know, if somebody says, oh, well, so-and-so ain't doing the right thing or doing right, you know, people got something to say about it all the time. They want to attack the person who's sharing the message. I said, well, you're not right either. Well, the truth is, none of us are perfect. We're all human and we're all making mistakes and learning and growing. But when you have a community of accountability and support, you should be having elders and family praying for you as hard as they're holding you accountable. So there shouldn't be this element of fear involved if we get called out. It's the fact that people can't take any criticism. we live in a culture where now you criticize somebody for bagging your groceries wrong at the grocery store, you about to get hauled out by the police because you criticized the wrong person.
Yes.
And so people can't take constructive criticism and use it as a learning lesson. No, now it's personal. Now you've attacked me, and now I'm going to attack you and fight to the death. And that's the culture that we live in, that we're surrounded by. So it's really important for us to go and find that compassion and understanding, so when criticism comes to us, we are able to process it and change and do better.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say,
You know,
I want to give a special shout out. Pardon me, Bliss. I just want to give a special shout out to my brother Steve, who he serves. If he serves not for the dollar, he serves for the compassionate desire to assist. Now, I know that, and I also want to give a special acknowledgement to my elder Baba Awolowo for the same thing. I also want to give acknowledgement to my elder sister Diana Farr. I want to give acknowledgement also to my brother Laji. I want to give acknowledgement to the brothers and sisters I have met along the pathway that serves the medicine, the herbal medicine, not for a dollar, but they serve it for the purpose of assisting. I am my brother's keeper. I just want to acknowledge the ones who are serving to be their brothers and their sisters' keeper, because that is truly the way of the plant medicine. I'm going to take that phrase from Mandalorian. It is the way. It's not the dollar. It's if it's a dollar stuck to it, there's a problem, because you get your hustle on, but don't pimp out the plant medicine. That's a very,
for me, like, I
spend 90% of my time, because too many people are pimping the plant kingdom for a dead president that doesn't have any money, any gold attached to the money. But
honestly,
and that's not that is not the way.
Honestly, like, I'm tired of working for folks who are pimping medicine. I'm tired of being around folks who think that that's what it's about. We got a lot of folks out here with some really big egos who are not providing services that community needs. And for me personally, like, that's why, like, I took a year off of teaching just because I wanted to go and deepen my skill and my practice. A lot of people aren't willing to go and train and become apprentices and disciples before they start teaching. And for me, I went through 10 years of training, and I'm always training. I'm always a student, and I respect individuals who share medicine freely. And that's what I try to do for people and who ask me for help. If I have the wherewithal and the ability to help, I'll send them a package. I'll send them something that they need, because I feel like it's about reciprocity and about mutual energy exchange, and we've lost that as a community. It seems like everybody wants to go and sit with somebody else in the medicine, but the truth is, like, you can sit for yourself, you can do the work for yourself, but it's a matter of aligning yourself and asking the right questions internally. Without self-inquiry, there is no integration. Without self-accountability, there is no integration. And self-accountability comes from being aligned with a set of values and doing the hard work to stay in alignment with those values of integrity and self-respect. If I make a mistake, then I try to correct it. If I forget somebody's package, I try to send them double or triple what the package was worth. If I make a mistake, then I try to correct it and learn from it. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people who are about that culture, because it's a warrior culture. It's a warrior tradition, and it's indigenous to our people. But at the same time, without those values of ethics and respect, there's not going to be any progress. So the reason why I mentioned tea is because tea teaches you a lot, because it allows you to sit and be present. Now, I'm not talking about herbal tea specifically. I'm talking about Camellia sinensis. I'm talking about the green tea plant. It was a teacher of the Taoists. It was a teacher of the Confucian. It was a teacher of the Buddhists. The Buddhists used it for achieving higher states. It was a tool on the way to enlightenment. It was learning to sit and make yourself a cup of tea and to be quiet inside of your mind and to release those toxic negative thoughts and to connect to the heart of the plant and listen, deeply listen, become a deeper listener. That's part of the work that the green tea plant teaches. You know, the tea that I work with comes from Hui Mountain, and that's an area where the Tang Dynasty emperor exiled all of the Buddhist priests and Taoists and Confucians to the wilderness. And they started growing tea plants in that wilderness and started having conversations with each other. You know, and that's where governments get overthrown, is when the creatives and the philosophers and the seers and visionaries all get together and start working together as a community to create harmony and share information. And I feel that can happen.
I want to chime in on what you just said. I want to chime in. When I was in Hawaii, Bliss, Acacea, Ray, family, listen, I was hanging out with a Hawaiian brother on the island of Molokai. He was a spear fisherman, and his name was Va'ai. Special shout out to Va'ai and Naomi. I don't know where they are now because I've lost touch with them. But they embraced me when I went to Hawaii, Acacia. And the next morning, the brother took me spear fishing. He didn't say, look, this is going to cost you $200. There was a guy on the island that wanted to charge me, but the brother named Va'ai, that was his name, Va'ai. He said, come on, brother, let's go into the waters together. And he took me spear fishing. And you know what he did? The first thing he did when he had his catch, and I didn't know anything about spear fishing, family, there is a spirit of Ubuntu, a spirit of Ubuntu that you don't have to put a dollar bill to.
Exactly.
It took me, after we came out the water, he had pounds of fish that he had caught. You know what the first thing he did, Acacia, Bliss, Ray? Gifted the elders in the community with the fish that he caught. And he didn't tell them, all right, it's $15 a pound. He didn't put a colonial mark on it. He only gave it from his heart. And that is a spirit of aloha. That is
a spirit of love and reciprocity. It's not Kuliani or their responsibility.
Everything doesn't have. And another thing I want to say this real quick, Acacia, and I'm going backstage. How many of the so-called facilitators actually ask the plant kingdom, sacred plants, what they want as an exchange?
That's something I bring up a lot, because you got to ask them what it is that you can do for the plant before you even work with the plant. You're not talking to the mushroom and saying, what can I contribute? Lecturing is something I wanted to do. It's my way of contributing back to the community. And growing the mushrooms, that's contributing back to the community. You have to ask ayahuasca what you can do. You've got to ask these plants how you can contribute, because that's the exchange, that's the connection between the person, the human, the land, and the community. You know, and without that spirit, without that spirit of Oluwabe, without that Makan sacred energy,
Acacia, your sound
the behaviors go along with.
Acacia, your sound is breaking up a little
Hello?
bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
I was saying without the sacred behaviors, you don't have any sacred community. You have to embody the traditional aspects of Ma'at by giving to others, being reciprocal in your giving, being honest, being truthful, being forgiving, being compassionate, and giving back to those who gave to you, reciprocating to your elders and honoring them. Every time I get on a podcast lecture, I honor Baba because he reciprocated to me. That's my reciprocal connection. Every time that I go somewhere and I do something in another place, I give honor to my ancestors. That's reciprocal. It's a connection. Every time I go to the Mushroom Mountain, I go and I ask the elders of the mountain who have been working on the mushrooms for 7 generations, what can I do for you? I'm building my college institute in the sacred mountain where the mushroom people still live, because that's reciprocation. that is the level of dedication that people are not willing to reach. They want to talk about the mission, how sacred it is. There ain't never been to a place where the indigenous people have been growing it for 7-8 generations. I'll teach you so much about it right then and there. Go visit where Maria Sabina came. Go visit Portland. Go see what you can donate. Because no matter who you are in the United States, if you're working with it, you have a connection to those tribes. You have a connection because that's whose hand it left when it came back into the United States. It doesn't matter if it's always grown here. You go back and say, hey, you know, same with ayahuasca. They want to do is a comfort their own homes in the United States, but they want to go to the rainforest and give thanks. Not go there to have a trip. Go there to support the community and build bathrooms and facilities and schools. You know, it takes that level of dedication for the plant to bless you with peace, and bless you with the gifts that you can share with others. You already have those gifts. It's just the plant exposing and revealing how those can be useful to you and how you can share those gifts with others. And on that note, I've got to go. But I just want to say thank you all for allowing me to share.
Thank you.
Are able to sit and nourish yourself with a cup of loose tea and you know, really allow yourself to unravel, because it's sitting and reintegrating that's really the key to all this, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for being on the platform. I think we definitely touched on a subject that needed to be addressed. And to all those who desire to serve, don't lose your soul for a piece of silver. Don't lose your soul. Commune with the tea, the plants, the shrooms, and ask, I wish to serve you. How would you think? What's your suggestion for reciprocity? We used to do ayahuasca on Rockaway Beach for a donation of $20. For $20. And we had
Used to be free.
Nobody was turned away. And then I found out in South America,
I mean, honestly,
the
I think
equivalent
that
of the exchange in South America was $20. The local people give to the shaman or the server $20. Now this Babylon, USA, and the European, $300-$500 for serving.
Yep.
You're losing your soul, family.
It's a couple of $100
reason
for ayahuasca.
Yeah, it's unrealistic.
Some people are doing a couple of $100 for shrooms, for a shroom ceremony.
Insane. And I know that the shrooms didn't give them the ashe. I know it didn't.
I mean, if you go to Oaxaca, Mexico, the mushrooms only cost $10, but you need to go and talk to the elders and see how you can be a part of the community. If you're really part of community will adopt you and will give you work to do. You know, and that's partially the issue, is that people are not connected and tapped into the community where they at. They want to go all over the world. They want to go to Kenya, take a picture with the president. They want to go to Peru and take a picture with a shaman, but they don't want to take care of their neighbor across the street who needs help. It's become glamorized. And that glamorization is you following somebody's instructions and they telling you a really bad idea and you thinking that their advice is good. So you go and you do what you know to be wrong and incorrect in the name of surviving and making money. But the truth is, if you support community and the community adopts you, the community of Oaxaca adopted me. I have moms, dads, uncles, cousins. I know whenever I go there, I don't have a dime. I'm going to do just fine because I'm going to go and support them in their work and they're going to support me in mine. And that's part of the sacred nature of the community. And without that, honestly, you're lost. If you think and do this on your own, you're lost. If you think that you're going to do this and get $1 off people, you're lost. If you think that you're going to sell the medicine for money, you're lost. If you think that it's somehow about your stature and whether you wear a bunch of regalia, you're lost. It's a matter of connecting with source and finding out how source has aligned you to impact the lives of others around you, and what you do with that and how you carry that forth in an honorable way. And you can make some money, but the truth is, if it don't go to helping others and giving back to those who gave to you, then it's lost money and it's not going to come back. So that's all I got to say for now.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you, Acacea. And I want to give you a special gratitude to you, Bliss, because, you know, you have been sharing and serving, and you have really been compassionate and reasonable. That's why you have my full support. That's why you have my full support.
I am a work in progress, and I'm always a student.
Yeah, Yeah, but you know, I see your heart is sincere, and that's
Thank
why you have my support. Just like Righteous Ray, she's not doing this to get paid.
Right.
Family, you got to have just like Logi. He doesn't do I am discourses to sell them. It's warned in the books, the I am books. Don't you ever try to sell I am discourses. Otherwise, retribution will rip you a new. Okay? And I believe plant medicine should not be sold. It should be a ministry. It should be under a spiritual context that you have it as a donation and offering, because it is supposed to be the communion. It's supposed to be the manna of heaven. It's supposed to be that which you take to experience a direct relationship with your creator. So if you want to have a suggestion of a donation, fine. You got to pay for the supplies, materials, toilet paper, paper towels, uh, supplies, candles, incense, things of sort, my time. All right. But if your hustle is so decrepit that you got to pimp the plant kingdom, you need to do a moaning session underneath the Chango Baptist Church, 72
Wow.
96 hours to find your soul again and find out what your real product line is supposed to be. Because as far as I'm concerned, family, the ministry of plant medicine should be as equally sacred as a donation, and let the people follow.
All right, well, I agree with you, brother. Thank you for having me on the show. I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate
All right,
you.
and so we're gonna wrap it up. And thank you for hanging in there, Ray.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
And
both.
all
Thank
y'all,
you so
we
much.
say good night.
Good
Blessed
night.
be. May you live in elevation and divine ecstasy. And we're out of here.
Uncle